Going to give you a quick overview of the Surface Go. First of all, let's try how fast it boots up. This is the 64GB model. It comes with all the ports you already know, for sure. And I also have this dock that allows me to have more USB ports and several other network ports and so on, just in case I will ever need them. And the pen that I still have from an older Surface model, as you can see, it's incredibly fast. Now if I remove the phone from my face, it will immediately log me in. So that I'm comparing this to a gaming PC that I had before. I mean, I've had lots of experience with really good PCs, and I must say I'm really impressed with how fast this actually feels, how fast this is for this weak spec, as you can say, with the Pentium Gold processor. I've installed some games and I'm again impressed by how smoothly they run. Here you can see Age of Empires 3, it's an old favorite of mine. 480 hours on record, which is not accurate since I got this game since 2005 or 6. Let's just showcase that a little bit. You already know when you watch this probably what this device is, and you just wanted to get a consumer's opinion. So let's skip the intro. Might have turned it off. Yeah. Turn it off there by closing the lid. Alright. Must have confused it a little bit. But that's normal even on desktop with so 8 people. So to maximize the load, this is the full resolution and the max graphical settings, which is insane for a tablet of this capacity with only 4GB of RAM. It loads fairly fast. It's instant on my gaming PC. And this is nothing to scoff at. It's still faster than older generations of PCs.
I can only hope you will not collapse before my assault as easily as my last foe.
Obviously I play this with a mouse, so I have one here, so why not do that? Lock in the mouse. There we go.
是的，猎人出发，猎人。
什么？建筑工，请下命令。
This runs incredibly smooth. Incredibly smooth. At this resolution, there's no hiccup at all. I used to play this on the Surface Pro 3, which is supposed to be more powerful with its i5, but I had more stuttering on the lower resolution. I mean, this is insane. Let me show you the graphical settings. This is the max resolution of the Surface Go. It caps at 48. I mean, it's not gonna hit 60, I assume. Let's just change that to 60. Yeah, the bloom effect is awful, but the rest is set to high, which is the max. That's a little fun, but doesn't affect the performance whatsoever though. Just an uncut experience of this.
准备好了，猎人，遵命。猎人。
Now, yeah. I'll put in a cheat so it will go faster. You can see my neighbors are booming, doing some deforestation. Just pump out some mad units. Oh, there's a cup, which is no wonder at this increased speed. This makes it 1,000 times quicker. So let me take out the cheat. Alright. Now we're back to normal speed. And they react immediately to orders, which means there's no lag. And there's no stuttering whatsoever. I'd say the frame rate, sad to say I didn't forget to turn it on, but it's definitely above 30, I'd say. And I've seen other people play Civilization at around 24 frames per second, which for a turn-based game is perfectly adequate. Alright, so the speakers are decent as fuck. It's so snappy, even the menu exiting the game. It's incredible, if you ask me, for a tablet of this caliber. I have 128 gigabyte SD card in there, as you can see. And that's all the storage I need for this device on the go. I mean, let's be honest, on the go I never play. I also have Rise of Nations there, which is an even older title that runs at 60 frames per second. It's very awesome. I mean, yeah, this is all you could ever ask for, if you ask me. And I'm a professional user, and I love good hardware. But what they managed to do with this device, the snappiness of this device, it's just beyond incredible.
This episode of Real Engineering is brought to you by Skillshare, home to over 20,000 classes that could teach you a new life skill.
Yeah.
Ever since man landed on the moon.
So this device, I'm impressed. I did not expect that for a $400. I picked this up for 400 Swiss francs, by the way. It's incredibly cheap in Switzerland. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. This device, it's so light. It's below 500 grams for the tablet itself. It's not that thin, but it's really comfortably thin. It's like your phone, like a Samsung phone, slightly bigger. It's so handy. So giving this a 10 out of 10, despite, what's worth noting, the eMMC model, which, I mean, I hate eMMC, and on the Surface 3 apparently it was horrible. eMMC is just a shit cheap storage, but with this device I can comfortably say the eMMC is just as good as the SSD. I checked some benchmarks, and the read and write speeds, they're around 200 megabytes per second. You can look them up if you want to the exact numbers, but the write speed is even faster than on the SSD model, because the SSD model does have a cheap SSD. The read speeds are insane, but still subpar for an SSD. And this eMMC model, you saw it by me starting this device up. They're great. They're just great. And the option to charge them by USB-C, by this amazing port. I mean, I don't get how many people scoff at this port. This is like Thunderbolt. You can add a shit ton with this device. I mean, if you need it, if you're going to need Thunderbolt, you're going to spend money anyways. So you can just as well buy this device I mean, 90% of people never even used Thunderbolt for anything else than what a USB port can do. But if you need it, you have this option right here, which allows you to add an external display, tons of USB storage, internet storage. I mean, can't even imagine what you can add here with this one. It's mouse and keyboard support. I'd never buy a tablet without a kickstand anymore, because this kickstand is just incredibly useful. Let's be honest. Yeah, with a key, like, come on. What do you want to do with a brick that is just flat on the desk? What do you want to do with a brick like that? Are you gonna hold it the whole time? I mean, for going to the toilet, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, this is an incredibly well-crafted and insane build quality machine that I can just, I thought the 64 gigabyte model would be just a pain in the ass to use, but so far it's been a blast, I must say. I'm comparing this to my current gaming PC with the 960 Pro SSD, which is one of the fastest SSDs on the market, and I barely noticed the speed in boot up, in games, loading time. I mean, obviously there's a huge difference still, but even for me, I'm not bothered by that, and I am an FPS freak. I play on a 144 Hz monitor. Everything below that hurts my eyes, but on this tablet, I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. So they did a great job on keeping the price as low as ever so possible. And I'd say it's worth spending just the $400, because the SSD and the RAM it's maybe worth it to you, but I mean, on this tablet, who's gonna exceed on 4 gigabytes of RAM? You can quickly exceed that, but I mean, you can have 10 tabs open and you'll still be below 4 gigabytes. And you can't do games and the internet, which I do on my PC, but come on, I mean, you can just close it. This, by the way, is something I can recommend if you transfer a lot of data between your devices. This is very convenient. It's like a USB stick with both ports, so you can transfer data. So yeah, 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Your opinion might differ, and if you need more power, just go for the cheapest Pro model or any of the expensive Pro models. But in my experience, it's always worth buying, if you're gonna buy the Pro and you're not gonna plan on keeping it for longer than 2 years, go for the second cheapest model, or just any of the cheapest model with 8 gigabytes of RAM, because those have the highest resale value. Because who's gonna spend, let's be honest, who's gonna spend 2,500 francs on a Surface Pro 4 nowadays, at the time of the Surface Pro 6 coming out? And yeah, if you still got the cheapest model, you can still sell that for like 80% of its price or 70% of its price. And if you sell it for 60% of its price, it's going to be gone in one day. So the resale value is much higher than the higher spec models, just if in case you want to keep your devices new, for that matter. So yeah, this is something completely different, I think. I didn't see many game showcases, especially not Age of Empires, which is a reasonable thing to play on this, just like Civilization 5 or 6. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day.